Here we have the 2-hour price chart for Palantir Technologies Incorporated, stock ticker PLTR. As we can see here, we're trading under a bit of pressure to start the current trading session. We're still trading within the upper trading range, so these declines have been minimal. But what we can see here is that we're starting to get a bit of a sideways consolidation period here. The current highs come in. This would be coming in at 29.30, which was posted during the Monday, July 15 trading session. And since then, we've traded a bit sideways here, but the declines overall have been minimal. Near term, the lows dipped below 27.50 briefly, but we're kind of hovering above there at the moment, with prices currently trading at 28.20. So overall here, not much has really been broken to the downside as far as negative price movements and support breaks and things like that. We have seen moves like that in several technology stocks recently. NVIDIA would be a clear example of that. Meta Platforms, the Facebook parent company, would be an even more obvious example of that. But overall, we have seen declines in Palantir, but the declines have been minimal. And overall, the support breaks have really been non-existent, to be completely honest. So if we're kind of drilling down here, looking back at this recent price formation more closely, we can see that this 27.30 level really is becoming more important as time goes along here. If we were to see a break below this level, I would start to expect some deeper declines, probably even below the 26 mark. Let's talk about the reasons why I'm choosing this level specifically. Let me just redo that 1 second here. Okay. I'm trying to move the text here, not the Fibonacci analysis. Okay, so currently, the reason that we're pointing to this specific level, 27.30, is due to the fact that we're looking at the dominant price move is coming in from roughly 2060, which is a very important level that I've discussed on several occasions for this stock. Here we can see that this level marks a triple bottom for the stock. It was a period of longer-term sideways trading action after a period of strong gains. So I'm currently looking at this as the base for the current bullish wave upward. So with this level to the downside, we can also see that the price highs come in at 29.30. This would be the recent high. So if we're using this as our dominant trend wave, we can see that the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement aligns fairly well with some historical support zones, which were generated during the July 11 trading session. As we can see here, we did technically break below this level. We do have a bit of a spike low here. Ultimately, this low did come in below 2690 was the low. Which would be below our 2730 support zone here. But what we're seeing is that we did not get a 2-hour close below this mark. So we didn't really see a confirmation of this downside break with a price close. And then after this occurred, after this downside movement occurred, we did actually see a break above resistance levels to these recent highs at roughly 2930. So for this reason, I would consider this downside break here to be a false breakout. I would not consider it to be, a legitimate breakout that should be considered here in terms of generating new support levels going forward. This red zone here, this is the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement. So since we have not seen a close below here, I would continue to point to this level, largely because we also have this rising orange line here, which is the 50-period exponential moving average. Roughly, these two areas are coming into contact with one another. The 50-period EMA, as we can see, is starting to break above here slightly, but we're also starting to kind of round out here a bit too. So, as long as prices are trading in a consolidative range like this, a sideways trading range like this, this moving average will also start to flatten out a bit. And these areas are close enough for me to, consider there to be a confluence or a combination of technical factors that are kind of developing in one area. So for me, this is kind of the key level to the downside. If we were to break below 2730, I would start to consider, the possibility that a near-term top is in place here. And I would begin to start to target a downside test of at least 26, probably a bit of a break below there, because this is the area that marks the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement. That would be this orange zone here. And coincidentally, this area is also marking up pretty firmly with the 100 period exponential moving average. Again, this is not exact, but these areas are coming into roughly close alignment with one another. And then, in addition to that, we also have some price lows from July 3rd, which came in at 25.77. So, all of these are within roughly 25 cents of each other. So for me, that's close enough. It's not obviously not exact, but, you really can't get, exact measurements to the penny in most cases. So you have to have a little bit of leeway as far as determining these possible price levels. To the top side, as I said, the main level to watch does come in at this 29.30 level. If we do see a break above here, the real question is whether or not we'll be able to break above the 30 mark. There is some historical resistance going back further in time. It's a bit outside of the scope of this chart. I can try to go back here, but it becomes a bit more difficult to see. But as we can see here, we're kind of trading into these prior resistance areas that are just ahead of the $30 mark. So, again, these areas are not exact also, but, they're roughly close enough. And there's a large amount of time that separates these two price tests below the 30 mark. So, you really wouldn't expect those levels to be exact either. At the moment, we're trading at roughly these areas. I mean, we're seeing a bit of a downside retracement here, but overall, I do expect to see an upward break due to the fact that declines here have been very minimal. I mean, after testing this 29.30 level, which would be right here, this would be the July 15 trading session. The lows we're seeing the following day, trading just below 27.50. So, this is not even a decline of two full dollars. It's just not enough of a reversal for me to call this a real failure. I think this is more of a consolidative price movement, sideways trading activity. And the underlying momentum reading in the relative strength index does continue to be bullish. And this is from a longer term, this is a very long-term trend here that we're seeing. We're going to start to come under pressure here soon, relatively soon. As we can see, the relative strength index is ready to start pressuring this trend line. So we could see a break below there, but I would also need to see a break below this 27.30 level in order to really believe that this current trending wave has reached a point of completion and is ready to form a near-term top for the stock. So here's the current market analysis for Palantir Technologies Incorporated, stock ticker PLTR.